with DoD Fed Globe and That's So Gay Live. And today at OutServe we have from the American Veterans for Equal Rights, the head of the American Veterans for Equal Rights, Danny Ingram. Hello, Danny.
Hey, Lisa. Well, AVER was started in 1991, or is it 1990? I guess you'll have to read on my shirt. 1990, by Miriam Ben Shalom and a few others, including Chuck Schoen, who is now 86, a veteran of World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, who was discharged just a few months short of his 20 years retirement from the Navy. So a lot of history there. In 1992, Bill Clinton was running for president, had promised that if he were to be elected, he would get rid of the ban. I joined others in making statements at that time to add fuel to the fire. There were I met some really incredible people like Margaret Kimmermeyer and Joseph Steffen, and I really felt like I didn't feel comfortable allowing others to fight my battle for me, so I joined them. I made a statement, and then, of course, a discharge proceeding was started against me, and then when 93 came along and Bill Clinton was elected, and they started the whole discussion about what was going to take place, my discharge was frozen, and it remained that way through 1993 until they came up with Don't Ask, Don't Tell, which did not do me any good since I had made a statement that I was gay. And so in early 94, I became one of the first service members to be discharged under Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I got an honorable discharge. Well, I continued to fight for the right to serve. I became active with American Veterans for Equal Rights, and then 2 years ago, I was elected national president of the organization, and we've spent a lot of time working to convince Congress that it was the right time to repeal. I've talked with a number of transgender people about their vision of what transgender service would look like, and I think that still we need to get a basic understanding of what transgender people are looking at, what transgender service would be like. For instance, someone who's already gone through transition goes into the military, applies to the military in the gender that they are now in. Is that what we're looking at, or is it someone who simply continues in their current gender, and when they're off duty they may do something different, which certainly should be their own business. So it's really a question of what exactly will transgender service look like, and what should we be asking the military to do. And I guess we need to talk about what all that would include if they decided to transition while they were in the military. What would they want to do during the time that they were actually going through the transition, and then what they would want to happen when they returned to active duty afterwards. I think there are still a lot of questions, and we need to start off by defining the answers to those questions, so we can have a good idea of what we're going to be asking for. Still, many questions about the military that still need to be dealt with, such as benefits, partner benefits. Benefits are a huge part of the military, and the military has many benefits that they offer to the spouses of service members, and we want to see some sort of equality in that area. There's also the fact that the sodomy law is still on the books for the military. That has to be removed. There needs to be a new policy on what sexual orientation, how the military will handle sexual orientation, because simply removing the Don't Ask, Don't Tell law does not make it make the military open to gay, lesbian, and bisexual people. There's a lot of work to do with the VA. The VA is actually fairly progressive on dealing with transgender issues, less so when dealing with lesbian, gay, and bisexual issues. So there's work to be done with the VA and with the Department of Defense. The Coast Guard actually has very different policies from the other armed services because they're under Homeland Security rather than the Department of Defense. We'd like to see the Department of Defense take the stand that the Coast Guard has taken, which is to make gay, lesbian, and bisexual people a protected class. The DoD is not going in that direction. We would like to see the DoD go in that direction because if someone experiences harassment or other discrimination, then they would have to go first to their commanding officer if the commanding officer was the one doing the harassment, or if they weren't getting help from the commanding officer, then they would have to go to the Advocate General's office, and that's a very large jump for people to make in the military, and we don't think that's fair. And also there's just the simple function of a watchdog, to make sure that the military follows the new rules, that they're doing what they're supposed to do, that they're following the chain of command. I'm sure there will be people who won't, and we want to make sure that our people are taken care of, that they're able to do their jobs without harassment. We, American Veterans for Equal Rights, is first and foremost a veterans organization. We care about the military. We are proud of our service. From the very beginning, we have tried to frame the Don't Ask, Don't Tell debate in the ways that the ban hurts the military, how the military would be better off without the ban. And I think that as veterans, we can be very proud that the military has now shed that. I think we will have a stronger military than ever, and the military is closer to meeting its true function, which is to guard the Constitution. And you can't guard the Constitution, you can't protect freedom while embracing policies that dishonor it. So we think the military is now much better off. It's truer to its mission, and first and foremost, no American service member will ever again die on the battlefield because the individual who could have saved his or her life was kicked out of the military for being gay.